Chapter 2. Burying Roots in Forgotten Soil. From the perspective of Jacques, in the years 1763 to 1773. Quote by Alexander the Great. I would rather live a short life of glory than a long one of obscurity. Just like that, my beloved career ended, shaking my foundations of confidence and dignity. I questioned my future. I also fixated on my father's anger over my career. Only fools fight war. Do you have a death wish? I thought about how I'd neglected his pleas and how he never forgave me. He died hating my career. Perhaps he'd cursed me? I needed someone to blame, so I blamed him. I was in a very bad place. I needed something to pull me from it and rehabilitate my severely wounded confidence. It was near dinner time, and I was despondent as I struggled to roll myself into the mess hall. Heavy bootsteps approached from behind, and a familiar voice. Jacques, still charging to the action, I see. It was André Resnier, my former espionage colleague and mentor. What? Resnier, is it you? I should have known you'd never miss a dinner if I was the one buying. He laughed and hugged me. I've missed you, my friend. It took forever to get leave. You're not an easy fellow to find, but here I am. He tipped his head as he studied me. You look like shit. We sat and commemorated old times. I even laughed, but the more we spoke, the more André's face hardened and his cheeks flushed. Jacques, you've been in the hospital for months. Why? Why? I stared at him as a ripple of anger tinged me. What would you expect? I'm crippled. I can't walk, I said thickly, clenching my jaw. I don't think so. He shook his head, raising his eyebrows. Not according to your doctor. He says your wounds are healed, that you don't need this wheelchair. What? What does he know? I can't walk. My leg's been mangled. It's useless. I'm no longer a hussar. They've put me out to pasture. I can't run, ride, or fight. I'm a cripple. Resnier's eyes tightened as he curled his lip. Crippled? That's pathetic. Hardly. He laughed wryly and pointed to a young lieutenant sitting a few tables down. No, that soldier in the wheelchair is paralyzed from his waist down. Look at him. Do you think he's a cripple? He has more energy and life in him than I do. If anything's crippled, it's your mind. Listen to yourself, complaining, living in the past, filled with self-pity, slovenly, and slumped over like an old man. That's easy for you to say, I trembled. You can walk and run and jump like a real man. I can't. I pushed myself from the table and buried my face in my hands. I don't want or need your lectures. Go. Jacques, your self-pity disgusts me. Don't expect it from me. The leg doesn't make you a man. I've seen your heart. I know how strong it is. It's still the same. It's what made you a hero, and it's what will cause you to be even greater in the future. You're still that hero who saved hundreds of brave hussars. Prove to yourself that you're still that man. I clenched my teeth. It was harsh, but he was correct. I frowned at him as my chest tightened and my body quivered. Go! Go, I say. If all you want to do is belittle me, get out of here. Jacques, I don't believe this. You, of all people. Yes, I'm leaving. I can't stand to look at you. Think about what I've said. I'll be back next month. And with that, he stomped away. I sat in the rolling chair, my self-appointed jail, slumping with aching conscience. Tears puddled at the corners of my eyes and trickled down my cheeks. Sweat dripped from my furrowed forehead. I'd fallen fast and hard. It had happened so easily. What a small person I'd become. My head ached as I mulled over his words. Resnier was correct. It was time to put action to my feeble, self-serving petitions. I rolled myself back to my ward. Orderly, if I'm not out of bed by 6:30 tomorrow morning, throw a bucket of cold water on me. What, sir? He smiled. I can't do that. It's against the rules. Damn the rules. There'll be none for me until I'm out of this chair. Understand? In fact, take this chair and burn it. I'll not be rolled around anymore. But, sir, I can't. The hospital won't allow it. Then bring me your overseer. I won't be coddled anymore. It's time I start acting like a man. With morning's light, I pulled myself up using my headboard, pushed the wheelchair away, grabbed a cane, and hobbled a few steps. A week later, I was walking with it, exercising my stiff, hurting leg. In another week, I was walking 100 meters, and then kilometers. My hygiene was another matter. I began bathing, grooming, and dressing better. My attitude improved as I exercised and cleaned up. I even ordered clothing fit for my position, a marquis. At the end of the 4th week of transformation, I hired a riding instructor to teach me to ride again. The doctors were amazed. When André returned, he just smiled and hugged me. It's good to see my old friend. In the southwestern region of France, about 45 kilometers east of the city of Cognac, lay Angoulême, the regional capital of Chpt Prefecture. Located on a naturally defensive plateau, the city became a citadel for regional governors. Numerous roads converged there, making it a hub of industry, religion, and culture. Its ramparts rose boldly from the surrounding landscape overlooking the Chpt River. Throughout its history, it had been attacked and sieged by the Visigoths, the Goths, and the Romans, and it was about to be attacked again by its own hero. I returned to Angoulême, my hometown, and purchased a dilapidated estate bordering the Chpt River. I was determined to face civilian life with renewed gusto, the same vigor used when charging enemy lines. The estate became my rehabilitation project. I immersed myself in redesigning and managing its revitalization. I renovated the chateau and hired farmhands to till and seed acres, creating manicured lawns, lush gardens, multiple vineyards, and fruit orchards. I commissioned a prominent sculptor to create a marble equestrian statue and placed it in a fountain at the front of the now elegant French Baroque chateau. I added a gymnasium, boathouse, and hunting cabin to the grounds. Finally, I constructed an innovative modern paper factory on the Chpt River with piers and docks. My estate and businesses became the elixirs that restored me. I took pride in harvesting my vineyards and growing flax and hemp for my paper factory. Within 5 years, my factory was producing reams of the highest quality paper to fill an ever-burgeoning supply of orders. I began expanding business ventures, erecting warehouses and buildings for additional processes and equipment. My stature improved, my mind sharpened, I read more, and I became a better person. I was a skilled negotiator who manufactured and supplied quality products. Soon, my brands were mentioned in Versailles, Paris, Madrid, London, and Rome. As my businesses grew, the wealth I inherited exploded to a substantial fortune. But as my wealth and reputation multiplied, so did my loneliness. I was a man of action in business, but shunned French society. I'd always been awkward in mixed social settings, and now I was even more self-conscious of my gimpy leg. I gradually became reclusive, preferring the daily routines of my beloved estate to the soirees of French society. I slogged into the atrium of my chateau. It was raining, so my boots and coat were smudged with mud from riding through pastures looking for 2 prize mares who'd recently foaled. I slid out of my muddy boots and threw my wet coat on the atrium's table. "Marquis, where have you been? You're not dressed. You're expected at the governor's ball in Angoulême. Don't you remember the invitation?" scolded my overly assertive yet invaluable house manager, Nonaire. "Oh, that's tonight. I forgot," I smiled. "Send a rider with my regrets. I've been riding in the rain for the last 3 hours. I'm soaked and tired. Anyway, I need to create a new field rotation plan this evening. Flax production dropped in the back lots this summer." Nonaire's lips pursed and her cheeks flushed. "That's absolutely asinine," she chided, shaking her finger at me. "Plans to rotate a field of flax as an excuse to neglect the governor's ball. Make the flax plans on another day. Now go. Change into your uniform. I'll get the carriage readied." "If flax rotation doesn't suit you," I smirked, "tell them I'm ill. Just send my regards. You know the process." "Me? No. I'll tell no more white lies. If that's how you feel, do it yourself," she recoiled, throwing her fists above her head. "Don't be a coward. You need to get dressed this instant. I'm not sending a rider to lie for you." "C'est la vie. I'll send the rider myself." I winked and walked stocking-footed to the kitchen. "I'm famished, chef," I called. "I need something to eat." "Spoiled child!" She threw her arms in the air with an exasperated sigh. "If that's how it is after you've sent your rider, find a mop and clean the mud off this marble floor," she glared, hands on her hips. "And put that coat away." She stomped on the floor, turned, and shuffled away. My paper factory was my personal sanctum. It enthralled me. A place of wonder with machines, workers, production goals, orders, and daily problems that needed solving. I loved walking the shop floor through different production areas, seeking input from the various workers. "How's production today? Are there any major stoppages?" I patted my foreman on the back. "Those last orders were completed in record time, and the paper quality was superb. Such work deserves recognition." "Oui, Marquis, our production's been good these past few weeks, but perhaps the forgeron can prepare a new set of rollers for the press. We've lubricated the current set, but it's time for new." He walked to the rollers and pointed out his concern. "You're right. I think I hear them squeaking. An excellent observation. I'll have the master foreman order a new set and schedule them for installation. I'll check on it myself. Thanks." The knowledge and trust of my workforce was an epiphany. As an officer, I'd worked to gain the trust and respect of my troopers, building a relationship. Our lives depended on it. Now I realized that the same process was essential with my workforce. They were becoming a team that showed ownership in the factory, improving quality and productivity. In turn, I increased their wages, It was then that I resolved if I were ever blessed with children, I'd mentor them to value a person's character more than position.